Boko had just arrived on the island of Sodor to help out with the more goods trains that had been piling the docks at Brendam, and everyone on Edward's branch line warmed up to him. However, things weren't the same with the big engines. Boko's class had many issues, including a very loud buzzing engine that for some reason wasn't fixed by the company. Every time Boko would come into Tidmouth, the big engines would just mock him.
"Oh, where is that buzzing noise coming from?" "Why, that's just coming from the new Brendam branch line diesel Buzzbox."
Henry laughed rudely. Boko just rolled his eyes. "Buzzbox indeed," he muttered to himself. A while later, Boko was just filling up on diesel fuel at the fueling point when Duck came up to him.
"Hello there," smiled the Great Western engine. "I saw the big engines laugh at you. I'm sorry they were rude."
"Oh, it's fine," replied Boko. "They're not the first ones to mock me because of my engine, and I highly doubt they'll be the last. Thanks anyway. Forgive me, what's your name?"
"Well, my name is Montague, but I'm usually called Duck, because the folks back on my old railway thought that I waddled," explained Duck. "Truth be told, the big engines teased me by quacking and wheezing steam at me when I first arrived. However, I soon put them in their place, and they learnt their lesson. Trust me, soon they'll learn not to call you Buzzbox."
Boko smiled. "Thanks, Duck. I'm Boko, by the way."
"Nice to meet you, Boko," replied Duck.
"Well, I've got to go now," said Boko, oiling away. "Bye, Duck."
"Goodbye,"
whistled Duck happily. Later that night at the sheds, Duck spoke severely to Gordon and the big engines.
"You three should be ashamed of yourselves," he scolded. "Boko's a lovely diesel and you have the heart to mock him."
Gordon and James looked at each other in shame. Henry, however, laughed. "Ha! Boko's just not a normal engine like us, with a buzzing noise like that." "Don't speak too soon, Henry," tuned in Gordon. "Otherwise you might eventually have the same issue." "Me? Buzzing noise? Pah!" huffed Henry. "Now, good night." And he went to sleep. The next morning, Henry coupled up to his passenger train and set off. "Me buzzing indeed," he muttered to himself. When Henry left Crosby, he was speeding nicely along the countryside. However, trouble soon struck. "Henry, I think we should slow down," called Henry's driver. "Nonsense," laughed Henry. "We're doing fine." Henry raced under a tree, where a big branch was about to fall. Unfortunately, the rush had made the branch fall down onto Henry's whistle, jamming it. It made a wretched screeching noise. Henry's driver and fireman had to block their ears, so did the passengers. Henry groaned in pain. "Ooh, whack!" Soon, Henry arrived at Wellsworth, where everyone got out immediately, holding their ears. Boko was just in the yard, watching the entire thing happen. "Take this engine to the works, Boko!" cried the station master. "Otherwise everyone will go deaf." Boko didn't argue, and coupled up to Henry and pulled him away. At the works, the workmen had to wear special earmuffs to drown the sound away, as one of them got a hammer and fixed the whistle back into place. "Finally," muttered Henry. Unfortunately, James was at the works for his yearly checkup and had seen everything. "What was it he called Boko, Henry? A Buzzbox? Well, you've sort of become one yourself. I can't wait till I tell the others." Henry didn't reply. He just looked down at his buffers. That night, when Henry returned to the sheds, Gordon, James, Duck, and the Scottish twins all laughed loudly. Boko, however, felt sorry for Henry. "Never mind them, Henry," he smiled. "They're only teasing." Henry tried to smile back, but just sighed. "I'm sorry for calling you Buzzbox, Boko," he said. "I didn't mean you any harm." "Oh, it's all right," replied Boko. "Honestly, you're not the first one to call me that, and won't be the last." "Shall we be friends, please?" asked Henry. "Of course," smiled Boko, and the two engines remained friends ever since.